This is just a simple tutorial of the app Mandarin My Way. So Mandarin My Way is a sandbox app for Mandarin learners. It really highly focuses on thorough vocab recognition and auditory awareness. Let's start with the pronunciation guide. In the pronunciation guide, you can cycle through 3 different pages, and they will list your initials and your finals and everything in between, the parts that make up Chinese sounds. It explains the articulation of how to make those sounds, and you can cycle through these as many times as you want. Let's go to the pinyin chart. The pinyin chart was meant to be a very, very mobile-friendly pinyin chart that allows the users to select the different tones and play them. There is a zoom in and zoom out button depending on the style of device that you have, and you can scroll left and right with your fingers, or up and down. It's however you want. Let's look at the compare two sounds. It's very important to compare 2 sounds that that you might need to isolate because you want to hear them better. So let's say the 2 that I struggled with the most are these 2. Once you select the 2 sounds you want, you can hit the listen button up here, and then you can play those sounds. You can also cycle through their different combinations. It only pairs them with real Chinese combinations, and these are true tone sounds. Let's go back home. In the introduction to sounds, you start with the play button, and you select your options. I'm just going to randomly select real quick just to kind of show you how the user interface works. In the learning mode, you can click on the sounds and just hear them. It doesn't test you, but you can switch back to test mode and start the process over. Let's say that you want to focus on 2 specific sounds or any number of specific sounds. Let's just say it's these 3 and then these 3. Then we go back. From this settings button, you can either go to the spell what you hear, or you can go back to your tone test. And you will notice that it is those ones that we selected in our settings that we're now being tested on. So you are able to customize your own tone test. Now, by the way, this allows to alleviate some of the cognitive load on students when you're able to make the connections you need when you need them. You can also go up to, with the intermediate tone test, up to 4 different sounds. And I didn't make it, but I'm going to cheat real quick. Anyways, let's get one right real quick. So this is how that one works. So this really allows you to kind of stretch your tonal hearing. Then we have the spell what you hear. Now this one too, you can, in your settings button, you can select what you want to do. So let's say that you want to just do something with a B. Bo. And I was off. So that's how this works. And again, you can customize the sounds that you're being tested on. Flip through the pages here. If you want to select everything, you could do that. If you want to, or invert select everything, I guess. Like you don't want to hear these 2. Everything else is selected, right? Or you can clear the page and start again. You get the idea. Let's go to the, before we move on to the HS case study, let's look at the dictionary. In the dictionary with the English, you can put a word in. Let's say hello. Now you see that we have up to 12 results right here. We could play those results.
你好，凯蒂猫。
So we have Hello Kitty. This is using the CDIC dictionary. If you click on this link right here, it will bring you to their page so you can see their licensing agreement.
午安。
So, and yeah, you have full access to an online dictionary with clean audio. That's the best part. You can also switch from English to Pinyin. I don't know much about the Pinyin side, just to be honest with you. I'm sure that that you have to get the the tones right. There you go.
好，好。
So that works. Remember that when you do use the English search, that you really can't put in multiple words into a dictionary, or at least this dictionary. This is not how it's indexed. Like if you do get it, it's probably not going to come up with anything. So just one word at a time. Let's look at the background page real quick. So when you're studying for many, many lengthy hours at a time, you really don't want, sometimes you get bored with the screen you have. What I do like about this screen is that you can select the opacity down here, and it really makes it look like everything's kind of hand-drawn. I think that's kind of a classy look, and this app's really for serious students. It's not, people that, like I said, are going to spend a long time with it. In fact, for some people that are really going to get eye strain, we have a dark mode here that kind of should take strain off your eyes. Again, you can set the opacity with the dark mode. It doesn't always look like everything's a ghost. This one, this teacup's an actual nice one. We'll just stick with the teacup for now as we go forward. And again, you could just select the opacity. It adds to some of the variety. And like I said, when you're spending a lot of time on an app, it's really nice to change up some of that variety. This right here is the social networking, but if you need to contact me at all, I am the developer for this. You could leave comments on my YouTube, send me something through Twitter or X, I guess. Make some comments on Facebook, or even just message me on Facebook. I will answer. I have an email here. If you click on this, it will email me directly. I am not going to be pushing updates just every time somebody has an idea. Be aware of that. This app is almost half a decade in the making, and we're still going to be developing, and I do want to hear from the community. But like I said, we're not going to at the drop of the hat just be constantly pushing updates onto my subscribers. So, but I am interested in knowing, if there's content errors or if there's user interface ideas that people have. I do want to hear them. I also have a link to the Love2D library licensing. I am a proud creator with Love2D, so that's a great community, and it's what we made this app with. So there's a link to that licensing if anyone's interested. Now let's go into the HSK study real quick. So you can select anywhere from HSK 1 through 6. One of the frustrating things that I had as an early student is that there was a paywall between all of these, and I didn't want to do that. So here we are. We can jump right into HSK 2. Now, everything is indexed to 10 words at a time. So let's just start at the beginning. Here are the words that we will be studying in this particular index. So white, long, right. So this is a good place to kind of learn the general overview that we're getting into. And you can flip through them and flip the cards. We'll just take a look real quick. If I click on the screen,
对
it has that nice clean true audio.
对
We have and this is another thing that I liked is that on the screen you have the characters aren't on a phone. It's really hard to see, read all the time. And it's really nice to see the details, and so that everything is kind of maximized on the screen. That was kind of a goal of mine that I really wanted for my app. Again, these are cards. You can test yourself on the meaning, on the opinion, on the characters. Let's say that there's a word that has multiple syllables in it. You can actually, with this button in the corner, you can separate those syllables or not. those syllables actually get, that separation reflects all the way downstream. I'll show you that in a second. But before we do, let's look at our deep dive button real quick. So in our deep dive, this has the lexicology. So it talks about the synonyms, the definitions, the variations, the grammars. Everything you really need to know. Like, let's say that there's an aspect of the word that you don't feel confident of. Let's say that, it's the definition. Like, let's say that you felt a one-word definition really wasn't cutting it for you. This goes deeper into that definition. This is a full deep dive into the words. You can flip through them. As you flip through them below, it will flip through those 10 words that you're working on. Everything is indexed so that that those 10 words that you're studying, that you can study them every which way. So with that being said, let's go to the study icon real quick. So these right here are the other which ways that we can study. We have these example sentences where we can flip through the different words. Each vocab word comes with 10 example sentences. You can flip through them right here. This right here kind of gives you the character of the word that you're working on. You have the Chinese here for the example sentence, the pinyin, the English, and you can toggle them on or off depending on which you're focusing on at any particular time. Leaving the example sentences behind, let's take a look at the meaning quiz. You can test yourself 4 up on the meaning. Again, everything in here is focused on the 10 words that you're studying at any particular time. The same with the pinyin. This right here is testing you on the pinyin. And you can shuffle through it, you can scroll through it, you can play the sound. Everything is customizable. That's the whole goal of this. It's to let these students make the connections they need when they need them. We have the tones. So this right here focuses specifically on the tone recognition for those words. So it's not hiding the fact that it's Hong. It's just saying, it's just focusing on like, hey, do you remember? Is this the first tone? Is this the third tone? Do you remember? Because the students, if you want to really thoroughly get it, really hone in that memory has to be stretched, and to be able to have custom, again, quizzes for all that, it really helps. Here's another one for your characters, right? It's a 4-up of your characters. And here's the drawing side. Now, if we flip through here, we need one that actually has, there we go. So some of your words have 2 characters or 3 or 4 characters, right? The one that has the question mark, that is the character that you're being tested on here. We can flip the card and you can draw it, practice it a little bit. This doesn't go into the tone stroke patterns. You can learn that on your own, but this will definitely get you your character recognition down. You can also clear the screen, or you can draw and just erase one at a time, or redo them. You can thicken the lines. There's a lot of options. Again, this was meant to be for a mobile device, so you want your icons and your features to be easy to read, to be mobile friendly, and that's what this does. So you can see, again, every which way you can test yourself. And I think for the most part, that is it. Thank you for taking the time to check out Mandarin My Way.